speaking of total narcissists, let's move on and let's go on to our favorite, Sarah Boone. I saw that Tanika 2 Cents dropped a video. Well, this was 9 days ago, but Boone family hearing. So Sarah Boone is the Florida woman who zipped her boyfriend, George Torres, into a suitcase and allowed him to suffocate. And she was offered a 15-year plea deal. She wouldn't take it. She needed to take it to the end, and she got herself life in prison. And so, but while she's doing her life in prison, she's still managing to harass her ex-husband, Brian Boone. She's still dragging him through family court, trying to get her money because she was getting alimony, and she believes that she should still be getting alimony in prison. So we had Tanika on the channel, did a few collabs with her. Love her. I think she's pregnant or she just had a baby, one of the two. So I think that's why she was MIA for a little while.
True crime lovelies, how are you? I'm a little hoarse. Breathing in the airplane air did something to my vocal cords. I don't know. I have airplane hair. Let's just go with it. I just want to talk about my experience going to the trial yesterday.
That's what it is. She actually visited Florida and went to one of Sarah Boone's trials. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think I got back at 1 a.m., so it's yesterday.
Sarah Boone for sure was hitting that stand, and in her case, and she for sure hit her stand. And yes, I saw it, and I saw her statement to the court at the end where it's like, I forgive all of you, but F all of you at the same time. Yeah. I saw it.
One, I was late. I missed my plane. I was flying out of PWR, which is Newark Airport, and I've only flown out of that. I mean, I've only flown in.
Okay. So let's move forward. We do put the links to everything down in the YouTube comment section. Today we're coming to you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Hi everyone. Be sure to give us that DNA love and also share our content. It helps us dance out into the algorithm. It's a free way to help us out, and it's really, really appreciated.
Brian and his attorney were closing their case in chief, and Josh was cross-examining Sarah, and he was asking her about various payments, it was her financial affidavit stuff he was going over. And so he was like, and I have notes, I'll do a more in-depth of what actually happened. I'm just want to get my thoughts out because my mind is racing. There's so much going on. Excuse me. But he was like, so other than money from Brian and various donations from people on the internet. I don't know if he said people on the internet, but he alluded to that.
It just makes me sick that Sarah Boone has these fans that are being given to her on the internet. When I worked with Tanika, we read these texts back and forth between this woman named Lana Oriani, I think her name was, and Sarah, and she would give her money, and she's the woman that testified in her trial for her. Lana has since passed away, so rest in peace, Lana. But I don't understand these people that are like, even in the Gypsy Rose, the people that were writing her and fangirling her, and I just don't get it. And Chris Watts has even Brian Koberger has just Wade Wilson, just all of them. It's just I don't get it. Even the most annoying of them, Sarah Boone has them.
It was either people on the internet or friends, people who have befriended you, or whatever, the Flying Monkeys. And Phil, your brother, sending you money. Have you contributed any money? Have you paid any? And there was a long pause. I mean, obviously the answer is no. Luckily, I didn't get kicked out because I was in the back. Well, the bailiff was in the well. There was no one at the door because somebody probably would have tapped me because I was like, no. But there was a long pause. He repeated the question. And then she was like, well, sir, I don't have any money. And so basically, finally, he said, so the answer is no. And she was like, well, I don't think you understand. No.
Didn't you all hear Sarah's voice come out there? Well, sir, I don't have any money. In her way of talking. Well, sir, I don't have any money.
We understand. Then he was asking about various expenses, and she was like, well, those are just estimates. And after we regrouped, Hear Me Out was like, she's saying that because it could be a little more, a little less. Remember Patricia Cashman? So she didn't want to get like pigeonholed into that. But the fact is, she's not paying that currently. So her pretending like there's a new need for it is a little strange. She did make the comment about newly being in the prison. She was like, well, I've only been there 5 months. I can't remember in what context, but I haven't been here that long. I don't know how many times that she mentioned her release. And again, I got there at 3:30.
So I wonder if Sarah Boone has a job yet, and release. I thought she was in prison for life.
It ended a little after 5, right?
Although I guess it's not life without parole. So she probably, I think each prison, when you get life, you get a certain amount of years. I think it's 23 years in Florida. Let me look it up.
So the team that was there said she had also been talking about her release, which I just think is crazy. So the judge did grant the relocation to be permanent. She told her at least 8 times while I was there. The team said all morning or all earlier afternoon it happened, of like what the topics were that they were discussing, because Sarah seemed really confused. So it was the alimony, right? The reduction or elimination of alimony, reduction or elimination of child support, which seemed to be moot at the time. Like they had already either stipulated or agreed on the record that she's not getting child support. Although I did hear that she argued for still the right to say this is what that money is going for. No, ma'am. So alimony, child support, parenting plan, and attorney's fees. That's what they were talking about. And as I suspected, the judge wasn't hearing the contempt motion for failure to pay. She was like, that's moot. You didn't put it in for cross hearing. And so Sarah was like, well, I thought that was automatically a part of it. I don't know how you didn't read the paperwork. Then it didn't say that anywhere that was automatically a part of it. So, and then at the top, obviously the motion to appear in person was moot at that point because she was there telephonically. And then her other motion, I wish I would have been there for that, for the contempt for not.
Sarah loves to be in person. She doesn't want to be left out of anything.
Filing the application. I hear Judge Jackson gave her a good dressing down. Like there was no order. I didn't put anything in about 2 weeks. This one stayed home because, like I said, we didn't get home until a little after 1. So he's in his jammies. He stayed with his sister. She picked him up. He had fun with his nephew and his sister.
Oh, his sister.
So yeah,
they already had the baby. That's I think his name is Sugar Bear.
Judge Jackson said, I never gave an order for that. There was no timeline. And she was like, oh, I thought it was an oral order. And Sarah, she told Sarah there's no oral orders. Like it would have been reduced to writing, and that didn't happen. So that got ixnayed straight away. And then the contempt for failure to file or failure to pay or whatever, that was not heard because it was not brought up properly. And then of course, if they haven't done their closing arguments, she doesn't have an order. So she'll have that after she receives it. So I suspect we will see Brian's closing argument no later than next Tuesday. Sarah's has to be postmarked by next Tuesday. So maybe we'll see it 7 to 10 days after that. I'm not sure, but the judge was very specific. It has to be postmarked by that date. So if it comes in,
well, that would be this week. So it's already happened. I wonder if that's already going on.
2 weeks later, and it's postmarked on the 3rd. I suspect Judge Jackson will be a woman of her word and will not consider that. What my gut feeling is legally the judge has to award the money from 2020 to 2022, right? Before Brian filed. And I guess Brian had testimony that I missed. And he looks good. He looks thinner than even at trial. When did he appear at trial? Like October, early to mid-October of last year. He's thinned down. I mean, he's still a big guy, but he's slimmed down. He looked more relaxed. Apparently, he talked about he delayed it because originally he was told to wait for the conclusion of her trial, but in 20
I love it that he's having his glow up now that Boone is in prison. And I did look up Sarah Boone, and it looks like Sarah Boone was sentenced to life in prison without parole. So I don't know what they're talking about. And it was just for second degree. It didn't have to go down that way. That's yeah. So I don't know what she's talking about, her prison release. It does look like there have been quite a few more videos made. Well, not quite a few. It looks like there's this was 9 days ago. So over here she breaks it all down. Wow. Yeah, she breaks it all down. His opening statements. Is Sarah's freedom in jeopardy? Brian testified. Sarah's struggling as a mom. Brian Boone's final entry in family court. Brian's opening statement. Brian Boone direct and cross-exam testify. Brian Boone testifies. Phonetic phone calls from Sarah before family court. I kind of want to hear these phone calls. Let's go into this last one, and then we're going to move on to Stephen Stearns. I saw a video saying that he's in the worst prison ever and having a hell of a time.
Hello, my true crime lovelies. How